is time for Dollars and Cents, which is our segment each week where we bring you a good financial tip to help improve the quality of your life as you get close to retirement or in retirement. And today I want to talk about the inflation issues that we face, which we've talked about in the last few weeks, but more specifically, I'm getting asked more and more now, what about gold, Jim? Should I be buying gold? And you've got all these commercials on the radio about buying gold. You know, hey, we'll liquidate your gold. We'll melt down your gold jewelry. You know, whenever we look at inflation and we look at ways to hedge for inflation with your investments, unfortunately, the conversation seems to always start and end with our yellow precious metal. And because gold is thought to be a good hedge for inflation, but gold by itself is a pretty volatile thing to invest in. It can be very volatile, and many of you are probably wanting to stabilize your portfolio. So how do you hedge for inflation without having all that volatility? And I think the answer is it kind of goes back to that old cliche or that old investment axiom. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. There are other ways to invest and hedge against inflation. For example, foreign bonds is a good way to hedge against the threat of U.S. inflation. Of course, there are inflation-protected securities here in the U.S. Energy, commodities, things like that can be good inflation hedges. There are a lot of different asset categories you can invest in that give you good hedges against inflation. Foreign currencies. Now, foreign currencies are very volatile. That's one reason foreign bonds can be good, because they have a lot more price stability than foreign currencies, but that's a great way to play the foreign currency or to play against the U.S. dollar. So there's just a lot of ways you can hedge inflation without just using gold and silver, you know, even diversified precious metals, copper, and a lot of those other things. So I think the answer is to be very diverse and have a little bit of a lot of different things. And you hear me talk about that all the time. And the flip side of that is be careful your hedge against inflation isn't too strong. You know, we've had the money that's being printed by the U.S. government has almost tripled in the last 2 years. So naturally you would think, well, that's going to cause huge inflation issues. And I've talked about this many times over the last several weeks. We have not seen inflation. If anything, we're currently seeing pressures for deflation with prices going down. How does that happen? How do you print all that money and not see inflation? And of course, as we've discussed, the answer is all that extra money is being printed, but it's not being circulated through the economy. That's called the velocity of money. It's not being spent. You've got banks and corporations and even consumers hoarding cash because you're worried about the economy. Businesses are worried about the instability of the economy. Banks are worried about loaning money because of the instability of the economy. So you've got all this extra money out there, but it's not being circulated through the economy. It's not having an effect. You know, I did a Dollars and Cents segment several weeks ago about this issue. You can go to my website, broganfinancial.com, click on the More Living link. You can pull up that one as well about the velocity of money. But, you know, going back to the inflation issue, I don't think we're going to see inflation for a little while, but long term we definitely have issues, and we're definitely, in my opinion, going to have a showdown with inflation. You probably need to have a little bit of a hedge for that in your portfolios. Just don't put it all in one thing. Don't go out and liquidate 30-40% of your portfolio and buy gold. I think that would be a mistake. Be balanced, be very, very diverse of how you plan for those things. Okay, that's my Dollars and Cents segment this week, and you can hear all my Dollars and Cents segments online at my website at broganfinancial.com. We've also got a YouTube page. If you go to youtube.com/Brogan Financial, it's got all our Dollars and Cents segments posted there, and you can listen to those. You can also catch past radio shows at my website at, again, broganfinancial.com.